Dear students, welcome to the online classes of chemistry. So, today we will discuss another new concept that is called as solubility. So, what is solubility? Look here students, what is solubility? So, generally we know that when 100 ml of water is taken in a beaker, and to this if you add 10 gram of sodium chloride or 10 gram of sugar is added. Look here students, 100 ml of water is taken in a beaker and to this 10 gram of sodium chloride or 10 gram of sugar is added. So, it is shaken well, it completely dissolves. And if we add 20 gram, it slowly dissolves. And if we add more 30 gram, then it remains that is undissolved. Means that is, what is the solubility? So, solubility is defined as, or the solubility of a substance is the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in a specified amount of solvent at a specified temperature is called as solubility. So, here remember, solubility of a substance is the maximum amount of solute. Look here, solubility of a substance is the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in a specified amount of solvent, or you may say liquid, in a specified amount of solvent or liquid at a specified temperature. It is called as solubility. Look here students, solubility of a substance is the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in a specified amount of solvent at a specified temperature is called as solubility. So, it is the definition of solubility. And here students, this solubility mainly depends upon the four factors. So, which are those four factors? So, solubility mainly depends on solubility of a substance mainly depends on four factors. So, that is, solubility of a substance mainly depends upon four factors. Number one, nature of the solute. Look here student, nature of the solute. So, whether the solute is polar or non-polar. Polar means which is having one end positive and one end is negative. So, almost all inorganic compounds are that is polar, and nearly that is few that is examples of that is non-polar or organic compounds. So, here the nature of solute may be polar or non-polar. Second one, nature of solvent. It is also, the solvent may be polar or non-polar. Polar means water, which is having one end positive and another one is negative. So, non-polar, benzene, ether, almost that is maximum number of organic compounds are non-polar. So, that is nature of solvent. Third one, temperature. And fourth one, pressure. So, on these four factors, so the solubility of a substance mainly depends. And here for our syllabus we have to study two types of solubility. The solubility of a solid in liquid, and second one, solubility of a gas in liquid. So, solid in liquid and gas in liquid. Let us see one by one. Look here students, number 1. So there are two types of solubility. There are two types. Number 1, solubility of a solid in a liquid, and second one, solubility of a gas in a liquid. So for our syllabus we have to study these two, solubility of a solid in a liquid. First one, solubility of a solid in liquid, and second one, solubility of a gas in a liquid. So these two we have to study here. So let us see one by one. The first one is solubility of a solid in a liquid. Solubility of a solid in a liquid. Number 1. Look here students. So here every solid does not dissolve in all the solvent. Every solvent does not dissolve in every solvent or in a given solvent. So here every that is solute does not dissolve every solute does not dissolve in a given solvent. So remember, or every solute or every solid, every solute or every solid does not dissolve in a given solvent. And which type of solute or solid dissolves? So there are two types. One is, that is, remember, A, polar solutes dissolves in polar solvents. Then what are polar solutes? The polar solutes are those which are having positive and negative ends. So for example, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, ammonium chloride, like this, these are called as polar solutes. Look here students, here polar solutes like NaCl, KCl, NH4Cl, NH4NO3, etc. dissolves or soluble, dissolves or soluble. So it dissolves in polar solvents like water. Water is a polar solvent, it is a universal solvent. Look here students, polar solutes like NaCl, KCl, NH4Cl, NH4, NH3, etc. dissolves in polar solvents like water. But here the organic compounds, non-polar solute does not dissolve. So it is here, but the non-polar solutes, like naphthalene and anthracene does not dissolve. These remains insoluble, does not dissolve. So but the non-polar solutes like naphthalene and anthracene does not dissolve in water, or these are insoluble in water. So here second one, the non-polar solutes like, same here, non-polar solutes like naphthalene and anthracene are soluble in non-polar solvents like benzene, ether, etc. But here this NH4Cl, NaCl, KCl does not dissolve. So therefore it indicates that the like dissolves like. So here it indicates that like dissolves like, means that is the polar solutes like that is NaCl dissolves in polar solvent only, and non-polar solutes like naphthalene, anthracene, etc. so does not dissolve in water, it does not dissolve in polar solvent. So the non-polar solutes like naphthalene and anthracene are soluble or dissolves in non-polar solvents. So it indicates that like dissolves like. Then here one question arises: why a particular solute is soluble in solvent? So for example, this NaCl or KCl is soluble in water. Why it dissolves? Why it is soluble? Because the solute and solvent are having same intramolecular interactions, then only they are soluble. So it is the important point. So that is here, let us see. Look here students, here we know that like dissolves like, and similarly in general we may write in general a solute dissolves in a solvent if its intramolecular interaction is similar. A solute dissolves in a solvent, so if its intramolecular interactions are similar. Look here students, in general a solute dissolves in a solvent if its intramolecular interactions are similar. Solute and solvent are having same intramolecular interaction, then they are easily soluble. So due to this reason, the polar solute dissolves in polar solvent, non-polar solute dissolves in non-polar solvents, because their intramolecular interactions are always same. So this is the reason here. So that is the main reason. It is also called as like dissolves like. So you may also write its intramolecular interactions are similar between solutes and solvent. So it is about solubility. So that is it is about solubility. Then the next term comes, the second one, that is called as dissolution. What is the dissolution? Look here students, when a solid it is 100 ml of water, here 10 gram of NaCl is added. Look here, it is solvent, it is solute, it is solvent, it is solute. When 10 gram of NaCl is added to 100 ml of water, so here the solute dissolves. When a solute is added, a solid solute is added to a solvent, so the solute dissolves in it and the concentration of solution increases. It is called as dissolution. So here, when a solid solute is added, when a solid solute is added to the solvent, the concentration of solution increases. The concentration of solution increases. Look here students, here the concentration of solution increases. So it is when a solid solute is added to the solvent, the concentration of solution increases. Why it increases? Because the solute dissolves in it. when a solute dissolves and its concentration increases. When a solid solute is added to the solvent, the solute dissolves in the solution and the concentration of solution increases. So, solute dissolves, it is called dissolution. You may also write like that: when a solid solute is added to a solvent, some of the solute dissolves in it and its concentration increases, and this process is called as a dissolution. So, when a solid solute is added to the solvent, some of the solute dissolves in the solution and the concentration of solution increases, and this process is called as a dissolution. So, then the third one, what is crystallization? What is crystallization? So, very simple, crystals. So, it is formation of that is small, that is minute, that is are very small, that is particles, solid particles, that is called as crystallization. So, look here students, some of the particles, some of the solute particles in a solution, some of the solute particles in a solution, look here, the solute particles, some of the solute particles of the solution collide with, impact with the solid solvent, the solid that is solute substances, and therefore they turned out into a solid or they turned out into a crystal, then it is called as crystallization. So, what is the crystallization? So, remember students, when that is some of the solute or when some solute particles, when some solute particles from the solution, you may take that is a solute particles in a solution, solute particles in a solution collide, or that is collide with the solid solute particles, collide with the solid solute particles, remember, and get separated out of solution, get separated out of a solution. So, this process is called crystallization. Means that is some solute particles in a solution collide with the solid solute particles and get separated out of solution. This process is called as a crystallization. Look here, it is solute plus solvent, it gives solution, and here the solute particles, the solid solute particles which collide with the solute particles present in the solution and then get separated out in the solution and they form crystals. And here if the concentration of solution and the concentration of solute in solvent are same, then this system is called as a dynamic equilibrium. It is called as a dynamic equilibrium. It is called as a dynamic equilibrium. If the concentration of both the solution and the solute in solvent are same, then it is called as dynamic equilibrium. So, the concentration remains same. Then the fourth term, that is called as saturated solution. What is a saturated solution? Look here students, what is saturated solution? So, here 100 ml of water is taken in this beaker and 10 gram of sugar is added to it. At a particular temperature, it is dissolved. So it is shaken well and it completely dissolves in the solution, that is at 100 ml of water. And again, if we add same 100 ml of water and 20 gram of sugar, 20 gram of sugar is added at the same temperature, but the sugar dissolves very slowly. It dissolves very slowly. And if you increase about that is again 10 gram, so therefore at the same temperature the sugar does not dissolve. It remains undissolved. And this solution is called as saturated solution, Santrupta Dravana. So here, what is a saturated solution? A solution in which no more solute is dissolved. A solution in which no more solute can be dissolved at a given temperature. It plays very important role at the given temperature or at the same temperature. A solution in which no more solute can be dissolved at the same temperature is called as, or you may add also that is same temperature and pressure. Pressure, of course, that does not have any effect. Temperature plays very important role in case of solid and liquid. So same temperature and pressure is called saturated solution. Saturated solution. Then the fifth term, what is unsaturated solution? What is unsaturated solution? Look here. When 10 gram of sugar is added to this water, it easily dissolves at a given temperature. So therefore, here that is again 20 gram also dissolves very easily as that is shaken. So therefore, this is called as unsaturated solution. When more and more solute can be dissolved in a given solvent at a given temperature or at the same temperature is called as unsaturated solution. So it is unsaturated solution means a solution in which more and more solute can be dissolved, at a given temperature or at the same temperature. At a given temperature or at the same temperature is called unsaturated solution. A solution in which more and more solute can be dissolved. So it dissolves more and more solute. So it is called as unsaturated solution. So look here students, here these are the terms, and then what is the effect of temperature and pressure on the solubility of a solid in a liquid? So here it plays a very important role. So here before starting this, I will inform you that is some information regarding this endothermic and exothermic reaction. So what is endothermic reaction? Look here students, what is endothermic reaction? Endothermic reaction. Look here, endo means to take in. Endo. So the endothermic reactions are those reactions where the temperature or heat is absorbed from the surrounding. 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 So endothermic reaction, it absorbs heat from the surrounding. Best example is take a teaspoonful of glucose powder, and put in your mouth. you feel cold because it absorbs heat from the surrounding of your mouth. So glucose, eating glucose, so it is an endothermic because it absorbs heat from the mouth. So it is, here it is endothermic reaction. So endothermic reaction, remember, endothermic reaction favors at high temperature. Remember, endothermic reaction always favors at high temperature. So for example, this sugar in water, so it is here 20 gram of sugar is added, it slowly dissolves. If you increase the temperature, here if you increase the temperature, so if you increase the temperature, the solubility increases. So therefore it is endothermic. So endothermic reaction favors at high temperature. And on the same way, what is exothermic? Exothermic reactions. Look here students, exo, to give out a chemical reaction in which heat is evolved, heat is liberated, heat is given out, is called as exothermic reaction. The best example is if you take 10 or 20 gram of Nirma powder and put in 100 ml of water, so water become warm. So it is an exothermic reaction, it evolves heat. Or you may take limestone, very good example, limestone, put in 100 ml of water, water begins to boil. Don't heat it, it begins to boil. So therefore here the exothermic reaction, so heat is evolved itself and it does not require any heat. So therefore exothermic reaction takes place at low temperature. So it is exothermic, endothermic reaction like this, that is endothermic reaction, exothermic reaction, exothermic reaction favors at low temperature because already heat is evolved, already heat is given out. So therefore endothermic reaction favors at high temperature and exothermic reaction favors at low temperature. So as you studied in PUC first year, that is Le-Chatelier principle. According to the Le-Chatelier principle, endothermic reaction favors at high temperature and exothermic reaction favors at low temperature. So remember student this. Now, so what is the effect of temperature and what is the effect of pressure? Look here students. Effect of temperature. So here the temperature, that is effect of temperature, it is very significant. So let us see that is what is the effect of temperature. So look here student, the solubility of a solid in a liquid is significantly affected by the temperature changes. So the solubility of solid in a liquid is significantly affected by the change in temperature. So the first one, that is here it follows Le-Chatelier's principle. Le-Chatelier's principle. Look here, number 1, A, the solubility of a solid in a liquid or in a solvent, you may write solvent, solubility of a solid in a liquid increases if the dissolution process is endothermic. If the dissolution process is endothermic, increases if the dissolution process is process is endothermic. So remember student, the solubility of a solid in liquid increases if the dissolution process is endothermic. So that is dissolution process is endothermic means what? Delta H, that is delta H is equal to positive or delta H is equal to greater than 0. This is called as dissolution if the dissolution process is endothermic. And here second part, the solubility of a solid, the solubility of solid in a liquid decreases So the solubility of a solid in a liquid increases if the dissolution process is endothermic when the temperature is increased. And here the solubility of a solid in a liquid decreases if the dissolution process is exothermic, that is delta H is equal to negative or delta H is equal to less than 0. Look here students, effect of temperature, it follows Lee-Chettle principle. The solubility of a solid in a liquid increases if the dissolution process is endothermic. Means that is here, so it is the solubility of solid in liquid increases, that is if the dissolution process is endothermic, means that is endothermic reaction favors at high temperature. So it needs high temperature. Then the solubility of a solid in a liquid decreases if the dissolution process is exothermic. So it is here the solid decreases if the dissolution process is exothermic. Exothermic reaction favors at low temperature. If you increase temperature, then the dissolution becomes decreases. So the solubility of a solid in liquid increases as the temperature increases. You may add this also, the solubility of a solid in a liquid increases if the dissolution process is endothermic. And here remember, as the temperature increases, that is it takes place at high temperature, and here it takes place at low temperature. So here you may add dissolution process endothermic at high temperature, or you may add here that is increases as the temperature increases. As the temperature increases, you may add here. Otherwise you write high temperature, and here you may write at a low temperature. So solubility of solid in liquid, so the solubility of a solid in liquid decreases as the, again you may write as the temperature increases. As the temperature increases, means that is solubility of solid in a liquid decreases as the temperature increases if the dissolution process is exothermic. Means exothermic, it favors always at low temperature. If you decrease the temperature, solubility increases. If you increase temperature, solubility decreases. So you may that is add here, the solubility of a solid in a liquid decreases as the temperature increases if the dissolution process is exothermic. So here about the effect of temperature, it follows the Lee-Chatelier principle. Then what is the effect of pressure? Look here. What is the effect of pressure? Look here students. So here the pressure does not have any significant change or significant effect. Pressure does not have any significant effect. It does not have any or show that it has any significant effect. So on increasing the pressure, why? What is the reason here? in a liquid. The pressure does not have any significant effect on the solubility of a solid in a liquid because the solids and liquids are highly incompressible. The solids and liquids are, because the solids and liquids are highly incompressible. So due to this reason, that is, so it does not affected by the pressure. These are highly incompressible and it remains unaffected, and these remains unaffected. Look here students, up to this it is solubility of a solid in liquid. So it is, the pressure does not have any significant effect on the solubility of solid in the liquid, solubility of a solid in liquid, because the solids and liquids are highly incompressible and therefore remains unaffected. So this is about this solubility of a solid in liquid. It is the first part where the how the solid, that is, are the soluble in liquid and what are the factors. And the next part is solubility of a gas in a liquid. Solubility of a gas in liquid, second one. Solubility of a gas in liquid. Look here students, here many gases dissolves in water to form liquid gas solutions. So due to this reason, the aquatic species are living comfortable in water. So they will get oxygen from the water. So they are living comfortably. So that is called as aquatic species. So here, in general, whenever the gases dissolves in a liquid, so that is here, as the pressure increases, the gas, that is the dissolution of gas also increases, solubility of gas also increases. So here both pressure and temperature plays a very important role. So first let us see, that is, what happens when the pressure increases. So what happens to the solubility of a gas? So here we know that many gases dissolves in water. For example, oxygen dissolves in water and carbon dioxide also dissolves in water to form, many gases dissolves in water to form liquid gas solutions. It is called as a liquid gas solutions. So oxygen dissolves to a small extent in water, and due to this reason the aquatic species are living comfortable. So here solubility of a gas in liquid, solubility of a gas in a liquid is greatly affected by, so greatly affected by temperature and pressure. It is greatly affected by temperature and pressure. Temperature and pressure, both these plays a very important role. Pressure, temperature and pressure. Let us see, that is, first what is the effect of pressure. What is the effect of pressure? Look here students, here I am taking, that is, a beaker in which water is placed here. It is water. And here gases, and here it is a piston. Look here, when a gas is enclosed in a container. Gas is at the upper portion and water is at the bottom portion. Or you may take, that is, you may say liquid. So, or liquid or water, anything. And then I will draw a second, that is, diagram here. So, here again, that is, this water is here, and then when the piston is moved, look here students, again the gases are there, and then water or a solution, and it is a piston. Look here, I will explain here. Look here. So, I have taken here one container. In this container, 100 ml or 200 ml of water or solution is taken, and then here, that is, upper portion contains gases, and then it is fitted with a piston. And when here the gas molecules which are present in the upper part and the solution is present in the lower part, so after some time an equilibrium exists between these two. And when the pressure is applied, at the piston, the gases begins to dissolve in this solution or water. And here the gases begins to dissolve or soluble until a new equilibrium is reached, or until new equilibrium is established. So therefore, here as the pressure it indicates that as the pressure increases, the solubility of a gas in a liquid also increases. So here, what is the pressure here, students? So that is, as the pressure increases, the solubility of a gas in a liquid increases. The solubility of so as the pressure increases, the solubility of a gas in liquid increases. So here the gas particles are absorbed, or that is dissolves in water molecule or in a solution. So here, that is the main part, that is effect of pressure. As the pressure increases, the solubility of a gas in liquid also it is increases. So it is the effect of pressure, and a simple experiment is there, but they won't ask in examination. They ask only what is the effect of pressure. So that here you have to write only, that is the solubility of gas increases as the pressure increases. So this much only is enough. And here it was given by a scientist. It was first given by a scientist called as Henry. So it is also called as Henry's law. So students, they may ask in the examination, what is Henry's law? So I will explain here what is Henry's law. Remember, so it is Henry is the first scientist. He is the first to give the quantitative relation between the pressure and solubility of a gas. So Henry is the first to give the quantitative relation between this pressure and solubility of a gas in a liquid. So what is Henry's law? What is Henry's law? Look here, what is Henry's law? So the law states that the solubility of a gas in a liquid, the solubility of a gas in a liquid. Look here students, the solubility of a gas in liquid. So here it takes place at constant temperature. The solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to proportional to the partial pressure of the gas above the surface of the liquid. So, directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas above the surface of the liquid. Above the surface of the liquid or solution. Directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas present above the surface of the liquid. So, here our solution, it is called as Henry's law. It takes place at constant temperature. Remember students, the law states that the solubility of a gas in a liquid is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas above the surface of the liquid at constant temperature. Are you right? First, that is at constant temperature, the solubility of a gas in liquid is directly proportional to the partial pressure of the gas present above the surface of the liquid, or directly, that is above the surface of the liquid. So, this is called as Henry's law. It is for 2 marks. They may ask define Henry's law or state Henry's law. So, here student, tomorrow I will explain that is more about this Henry's law and then Henry's law in terms of mole fraction. So, thank you.